All right, well, time for an update on the Humvee project. Basically, the rear part of the Humvee is done. I got all the pieces back, all torqued. I convert this into a normal hitch, so I can just use the 2.5-inch hitch receiver for that. It's not going to be visual anyway. It's just in case I need to tow something. Yeah, everything back here is done. Looking really good. Painted the rails, or the frame rails. All that stuff is done. Got the entire front frame painted. Then I reassembled all the components. Very similar to the rear as far as the bolt patterns and the torque and all that. I still need to get the 2 gearbox on. That's what I'm working on right now. But this is as far as I got on the frame. I got the brakes put back on. These are new calipers, new rotors, as you can see. Starting to look really good. Got this side control arm put together as well. It goes a lot easier in the front since you get this massive engine sitting there for weight. So I didn't have much of a hard time trying to get that jack under here. Compressor spring. Get these nuts to come on, the bolt to come on. To keep it compressed. So right now it's got some compressive load on it. Currently working on the gearbox and drive shaft on one of the corner. This is the driver's side. One of the boot, I think, is this boot that's torn up, and I had to replace the boot. It's a really good video in YouTube that shows how to do it, so I didn't go over the entire procedure, but yeah, it's quite a pain. It took me 3-4 hours to get this thing rebuilt. You fighting the entire time trying to get this boot in place. To replace this one, you have to take this side apart and then slide the boot through this way, because you can't get the shaft out from this side. You have to disassemble everything in here. So I took this side out, got 2 boots for it. So these 2 boots are new, and these are pretty fascinating. You guys want to learn how this thing works, a universal joint, you rebuild one of these. It's got ball bearings on them, it got a sleeve on them, and it has this tongue and groove kind of channels in here for the bearing to slide. So it basically slide in and out like this, but it'll also allow for rotations. Very it has a huge angle that you can rotate, and huge range of slide, for the articulation of the out control arm. So anyway, I'm in the last step of trying to get this on here. Totally a pain to get these things on, because you got crease everywhere and it doesn't want to get on. So ended up having to muscle your way through to get these on. Anyway, they do sell this entire drive shaft in eBay. I'm not sure if those are reproduction or OEM. They're not that expensive, $200 or something. But I knew I'd probably just go buy one of those new ones and put them on instead of doing the rebuild. It's taking way too long and too much of a pain. So yeah, anyhow, that's where we at this point. All right, guys, time for an update. I got the front suspension all put together, and you can see this complete on both sides. got the brakes all put back together, and the order of things going in almost identical to the rear, as far as the mounting the drive shaft and all that is very similar. So I got all that back, got all the pieces back, figure out all the bolt goes. That's quite a challenge, but just kind of match up the length, make sure everything has enough thread on them. You can see that I lowered this thing down quite a bit. It's sitting actually on the ground, and the reason for that is that I wanted to work on the engine. And how cool is that to be able to to walk in and actually working on different components without standing up on a ladder. So, and this is probably the safest thing to do anyway, to have it sit right on the ground. So next step is to replace the injector. I'm sorry, the pump, the high pressure pump, and it's sitting right there. So this pump is new and is functional, but I made a mistake of using the wrong pump. I thought this is a 6.5 according to the year of the vehicle, which is a 94, but this engine has been swapped and they put a 6.2 liter in here, and I did not know. I put the pump on, it runs okay, but the RPM was way over 1,000 RPM, and I didn't know why. So I started to do some research, and you look back here, there was some telltale signs. I forgot what it was. It's a couple years ago, but you can see from back here where the pressure sensor is. There's a difference between the 6.5 and the 6.2. So that's one of the telltale signs that people told me that this is a 6.2. So I bought a 6.2 pump, injector pump that I'm gonna replace this with, and then probably put this on eBay or something, because this pump is new and it's barely used. So in order to do that, all this stuff has to come out. Take the turbo out. While I'm at it, I'm probably gonna replace the head covers, the valve covers. I bought some new ones for that. Probably clean everything up and make it look nice and neat. And on the new valve cover, I'm gonna tap into somewhere here for the drain from the turbo. So we'll get that done as well. So that's the plan for the next few weeks. All right, so I started to get into the engine. Took the intake manifold apart. Just a lot of nuts and bolts that need to be removed to get the intake manifold out. But my main objective is trying to get to this injector pump, and it's sitting right here under the intake manifold. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just just taking all the bolts out. The intake comes right out, leaving the fuel rails behind. And the fuel pump, or the injector pump, is connecting to a drive system that's in here. There's a sprocket and a chain that we can get into a little bit later. But now I have a lot of room to work with. And while I'm at it, I'm probably going to make this engine look better by cleaning up all this stuff. I'm probably going to take all these rails out and clean them. in order to get to the valve cover, these need to come off anyway. They're very hard to bend, so all that's gonna be taken out. That's my plan. Then starting to put the new valve cover on. Put a little drain pipe or drain plug in here for the turbo while I'm at it, and probably just try to paint some of these, get it to not get rusty, and clean things up. But anyway, so that's the plan for the next few days. Okay, so at this point, I got all the fuel rails coming off from the injector pump. So now you can see that the head cover is accessible. Now we're just gonna take some bolts out, loosen this bracket, and I'm gonna take this out and get a new one on. Put a tap on it while welding a bung right here for the oil return line coming from the turbo. That's my next thing on the list to get done. This injector pump needs to be replaced, so that's gonna get done. Same thing on the other side. This bracket needs to come off, and I can go ahead and take this out and replace it too, get everything cleaned up. I'm just about to remove the injector pump, and as you can see, I removed most of the fuel lines just to get out of the way and get it cleaned up before I put it back in. So injector pump is pretty simple to replace actually when you get everything out of the way. The actual process is not too bad. So what happened is you're going to want to take 3 bolts. That's one here, and one on the other side, which I already took off right there. And there's like a bracket up here that's mounted to this bolt. So I took that out, took the nut out, so there's 2 left. And just disconnect all your all the vacuum lines, and the fuel return is here, the fuel inlet is here, and of course this is the outlet. That's where it came out. In the front, see if I can find a flashlight. So what happened is, yeah, you can see there's a bolt in there. There's 3 of them, and you have to rotate the crank to get to all 3. You can only get to 1 at a time, and that is bolted this end of the injector to a sprocket that's inside. So you gotta take those 3 bolts out, take these 3 back here out, and then you can just pull the entire unit out this way. And so the whole process is not too bad. Now the only thing is, and I'll show you when I pull this out, there's a little pin at the end that you need to know exactly where it is, so you can rotate your new injector pump and put that pin on the same location. And if you don't, you're gonna mess up your timing, and that's just really a bad thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get all this bolts out, and then we'll show you what I got. Okay, so I'm at the point that I'm getting the new injector pump back on, and the procedure is quite simple. It just you know, you need to be real careful. So basically you got to get the shaft to be in the same position as you pull the old one out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. We can get in here and show you where the pin is at. So you look inside there, you can see there's a pin. To the right, around like 9 o'clock. That's the pin that goes through a hole, and that pin needs to be aligned with that hole. That pin belongs to the injector pump, and make sure that it lines up because that's part of your timing. And if you screw that up, timing is going to be messed up. And so, and then that allow all the bolts are lined up. So if you look in there, I already got a couple of bolts in. There's a hole right there that you need to get a bolt on. And so the trick is not to drop, well, you need to not to drop this bolt right here into the bottom of that, because if you do, you have to take like the entire water pump and that whole assembly out to get it out, because it's all internal. So the way I do it is I just put in a lot of grease, just so it's got a lot of gripping, and then I put in this extra long socket. This is a 1/2-inch bolt, or a 1/2-inch socket. So you squeeze it in like that, and it retains in there pretty good. You can see I can tip it upside down, shake it, and it doesn't come off. So that's how I got it in without dropping it down to the bottom. Don't try to tape around it or things like that, because the tape could fall down. Then you got yourself a problem too. So anyway, I've been very successful with the first two doing that. Just make sure that you get these bolts all tightened so this whole thing can be lined up before you get all this kind of bolts on. Otherwise it'll just be crooked and it won't come in. So that's where I'm at right now. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and get the valve covers out and keep going with build. But yeah, so far so good. It's starting to look pretty decent. Okay, so quick update before I close up with the intake manifold. Basically, the injector pump is put back on. All the hydraulic lines are put back. I got the pump in first, and then I started with the lines at all the way in the bottom first, because you can see it's very difficult to turn with the wrench if you have all of this in at the same time. So I just do the two bottom first, and then to do that one, and then same thing on the other side. Should be able to get to it and torque it up real good. So yeah, got it all back, and these are real easy to remove and install. Well, at least in my application it is. Looks rusted, but it comes right out. Went ahead and painted all in here just to make sure it doesn't get rusted. And yeah, so I'm just about to get the intake manifold back on. Yeah, so this is where we're at currently. Oh yeah, not sure I went over this on the other video, but I welded this return line from the turbos right here. I welded on the inside. You can see there's still some weld spot that burned through. Some cosmetic issue, but I'm not gonna grind it down. It's too much work. But just paint it on top and call it good. Well, it's been a while since I gave you guys an update, so here we are. I thought I'd just give you a shot from the top. I'm at the staircase and looking down from the top. It's looking real nice. the way it is right now. Real nice stance. I remember that the front still doesn't have the correct wheels yet, but yeah, that's how it looks from the top. I'm gonna take a walk down and give you guys an update on what's been going on the last couple of weeks. All right, so you can see the aluminum radiator, nice and clean. It's aftermarket, but it's designed to fit perfectly for the Humvee with about a third of the price of a steel one. So you would be crazy not to go for one of these. So that's already been put together. That's the oil cooler. Sorry, actually this is the power steering cooler. Oil cooler is going to be in the back, since I decided not to put the original cooler, oil and transmission cooler back here, just to make the front looks nice and clean. So it'll be aluminum as well for the rear, with those heat exchanger. Turbo connections are almost done actually. So you can see the drain lines are put in. This is AN10, and it's properly draining into the head covers, the valve covers. So mainly it needs to be gravity flow. So it's going to start from somewhere behind there, flow down, and I just need to go uphill just a little bit and then come back down. So I suspect oil is going to be collecting in this area all the time, but I really don't have a choice. Should be all right. So this is the high pressure line for the oil, and it goes all the way to the other side. There's a connection where you can connect to the engine oil reservoir on the high pressure, so it pumps oil through the line. I have a couple of 1/4-inch NPT here, and reason for that is that I'm going to tap into here with sensors. So there'll be one for temperature and one for pressure. I want to make sure that the oil been cooled properly and the oil pressure is good. Otherwise, it will blow your turbo. So gotta be watch out for that. Now, looking on top, I fabricated this piece myself, and you know, since I wanted to have an intercooler, I fabricated this piece to direct a 3-inch pipe that way, and then it's gonna come down to the front where the intercooler is gonna be, and then it goes around. It goes around to this side. Comes around, and then it goes into this charge pipe. So basically airflow is going to go this way, then around the front to the other side, goes into the upper intake that I fabricated, and then it jumps into this low intake manifold. Nice and clean. So that's where we're at. The intercooler is going to have to come in later since I don't have the body. So we're probably gonna have to leave it the way it is for now. I probably can start the engine soon, and then intercooler can wait. So now I guess everything up here has been hooked up. I just have real minor plumbing to do. I'm gonna have to fabricate some brackets out here to get the reservoir for the coolant. Get that put in. I'm probably gonna weld in a piece here and make a battery tray in this area. So battery is gonna be in the front. Need space for 2 of them. And so that's the plan up here. And then I can go ahead and start up the engine, see if it runs properly with all the changes that I'm making to the vehicle. Back here is where I disconnect the transmission cooler. So I'm just going to run a line into a aluminum cooler I'm going to place right under here, and it's going to be cooled by an electric fan. So that way I don't have to take this line all the way to the front in front of the radiator and making a big mess up there. Keep it nice and clean. On this side, I'm probably gonna put the heat exchanger for the oil. So that's where the oil cooler is gonna be, also underneath with a fan, so it cools the oil properly. And like I say, tap into here to check the temperature, make sure it's not running hot. Yeah, so that's where we at. I'm probably 3-4 weeks away from starting up the engine. So back here, you can see those massive wheels, 40-inch, that put on. These are permanent setup, so I'm not gonna take them off again. Looks incredibly cool. Desert tan color rims. The rest of the truck will be that color as well. That's a shot from back here. And of course my boy Rookie. Hi Rookie. So let's see what else we got here. Yeah, brakes and everything is done back here. I think we already went over that. The reason for me to keep the stock wheels in the front is that I cannot have the 40-inch wheels with the huge offset in the front, because I'll never make it through the lift. You can see these would not go through the lift. So we're just gonna have stock wheels there for the time being, and then when the chassis is all completed, I'm gonna roll it out of this lift, and then we'll manually lift it up and change the wheels. But that's not gonna be for a while. That's gonna be like when the truck is totally complete, where I really don't need to get into this bay again, and then we'll do that. Anyhow, this is where we are. It's looking really decent. I enjoy coming out here and just looking at it. Celebrate the success so far. So stay tuned. I will give you guys an update in a few weeks. Hopefully the engine will be running by then. Hey guys, so on this video, I'm gonna try to show you guys how to replace your fan belt. And it is quite simple. It looks intimidating on the Humvee, but it actually is a very simple process to replace them. So in this video, we're gonna replace all 4, and two of them are for the alternator, which is up here, and then 2 of them is for the power steering, which is down there, and 2 belts drive each one of the component. So that's what we're dealing with. And so part number wise, let's go through part numbers. The shorter ones, which is the one that go through the power steering, I'll give you the part numbers right there, so you guys can go ahead and write that down if you want to get replaced. I got this actually from either eBay or Amazon, one of those 2 places, for a fairly good price. I think that might have been like $20 or $30 for both belts, which is great. And so that's the shorter one, and then the longer one, there's 2 of these, and part numbers right there. You need 2 of them. These are the longer version that you're gonna need. So anyway, first thing you need to do is disconnect the clutch supply hydraulics, which you can, let's see if we can zoom it in, but basically just reach your hand in there. It looked like some kind of like an AN connection where you use a 9/16 wrench to turn it, and this thing actually rotates, like the whole thing. You can see I can rotate it. So it was down there toward that way, and as soon as I disconnected, I rotated up and trying to clean up the connection, but these are rotating. So just take that connection off, and that's how you're gonna link the belt in, because that hydraulic line is connecting to your power steering. So you just take your, I already got a couple of these in so you can see what's happening. So this one right here, I kind of just loop it around the fan, all around the fan to get it through to this side. And then you started to, just get it on. And now, before you do that though, you have to loosen 3 bolts. So on this assembly, you got to take this, the power steering. So that's the 1 bolt stationary. This is the hinge point. So this is where everything is rotating, because you have to loosen them to get the belt on, and then you stretch them, and then you tighten the nut or the bolt. So there's another bolt down there. Let's see if I can zoom it in. It's kind of hard to see. But there you go. So that nut down there, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's on a slot. So you kind of just loosen that, and just so you can like pivot it and loosen it, rotating it around the pivot point so you can get the belt in. And there's another bolt though. Let me see if I can get it to the point where I show you where it is. This one is right here. So on the driver's side, you can locate it, and it's right there. That's the bolt. This is a 3/4 inch, and it's also on the slot. You can see that. So you can rotate them to get the belt on, and then just tighten up the spec. Well, you kind of have to put some load on it to stretch the belt, and then tighten that. And the other 2 bolts I just showed you, and that would do it. And so a similar process like on the alternator or generator, there's a bolt that you can see. I haven't done it yet, but I bet it's probably going to be the same procedure as this bolt right there. You just loosen that, and then you loosen, let's see here, you loosen another bolt. Let's see if we can get access. So yeah, it's the one, it's this one right here, and that one's the pivot point. So you loosen that to rotate, and then put some load on it, and then tighten the 2 nuts, 2 bolts, sorry, and that should do it. Hopefully that helped you out a little bit. I know it's kind of tight space to work on, but it's not too bad at all. You can reach in, no problem. Hey guys, so this is a follow-up video from my last one, and what happened is I thought it was kind of a simple procedure for the alternator, but actually there's 2 more bolts involved that I didn't cover, so I thought I'd share it with you. So first one's right here on this upper side of the alternator. There's 1 more behind there. These 2 are 9/16. So you take those or loosen those up. There's 2 more. So there's 1 here, and there's 1 more. It's kind of parallel to that. It's on the same pivot point, and it's somewhere in there. Let me see if I can see it. Yep, right there. So that's the other one, and those are 5/8. So you loosen those 4 bolts, rotate this towards that way, get your belt installed, and then you can stick a crowbar into this right here, pry it this way, and then you tighten up these 4 bolts I just showed you. I got these 2 done already. I still got to do the bottom part, but it's the same thing. Just stick a crowbar in there, tighten up the bolts. And so what I really want to share with you guys is something a little, I'm not sure what's really happening here, but so in order to get the whole installation done, you need 4 different wrenches and a crowbar, of course. So let's go over this side, the driver's side. So you need a 9/16, which I covered. You're gonna need a 3/4 inch, which is a really large bolt, and it's let me see if I can locate it. Yeah, it's right here. So this bolt is 3/4 inch. So that's all for the driver's side. Now the passenger side is kind of crazy. So you need a 9/16 to remove some of the bolts, but then one bolt you're gonna use a 15 millimeter. So for the life of me, I really don't understand it, why AM General would have the majority of the bolts in English and have one metric bolt on a very, very similar, well, it's the same bracket, basically, and that they're using both metric and English, which is very confusing. I really don't get it. But I'll tell you what, I've been working on this Humvee for some time, and the 15 millimeter been used quite a bit, and I don't get it. Why are they not using the 5/8? So anyway, if you guys know what the answer is, you know, let me know on the comments. I would love to hear about it.